What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Side of Mud. We are doing a series, 58,000 Lives, a tribute to the fallen, where we read 20 names per video of all of the Vietnam veterans that lost their life. They're all heroes in our book, so we do a little read on each one. I show a picture and I give a little information of where they're from and where they served and how they died, if I can find any information. And then we give them a moment of silence and thank them for their service. It's the first time joining us, that's what we do here. I show pictures, and sometimes I have funny pictures on my phone. We throw that in there to add a little humor, since we're not just reading morbid deaths. So we're gonna spice it up some a little bit. So I throw in a little bit of humor in there because if not, it's just draining as it is. Just talking about people that perished, especially in the way some of these guys died. I'll always give you an update. We have 58,256 lives to do, and we are on video 27, which is number 521. And I wrote ahead of myself to 740. So I'm on 740, and we're on 521 of 58,000. So we have a long way to go. There's going to be 2,912 videos, and we're on video 27. So we got just under 2,900 videos to go. So it's going to be a long ride, but bear with me, guys. If you have a family member that has a different last name than an A, we will get to them. Right now we're doing it alphabetically, so we're in the A's. We're on Alexander. So we have a ways to go, but if you want to find your family members in the future, if you guys follow and subscribe, you'll get updated when I do the videos. But all the A's are going to be in the same series. So if you go to my channel and you go to video series A, and each one will be B, C, D, all that good stuff. Sometimes I do lives, so they'll all still be in A, but they'll be a little different. Some will be lives, some will not be lives. But like I said, we do 20 per. We try to do one every night or every other night. And that's pretty much it, guys. So let's get rolling right into video 27. And the first picture that we have, let's see. Got the mic right in the way of, and I about messed up by dropping the phone on the keyboard. I did that once, and I paused the video, had to restart after 10 minutes because I dropped my phone and hit the wrong button. Now I can see. So first we have PSGT J.H. Alexander. And he was born October 20th, 1930 in Tennessee. His home record was Cedar Grove. If I don't have his birth on here, I look at his home record. I was looking at the one before. I'm like, where am I at? He died March 6, 1966. He was 35 in Vietnam. He was the 327th Infantry 101st Airborne Division. Also in Korean War, so he was a veteran of Korean War. He died going to the aid of a wounded man under heavy enemy fire. It's very heroic. He's on panel 5E, line 127 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PSGT J.H. Alexander a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. We also put stars next to special stories, heroic stories, different things that need more discussion than just a 30-second read. For our future podcasts, we're going to do when we get further along. And I usually tell you whether I already have a star or we add a star. Sometimes I do it when I'm reading it. Sometimes I do it as we read it together. But whenever we have stars, we're going to do more in depth, research on them, stuff like that. They need more discussion than just a read. Okay, this is SP5 James Blair Alexander Jr. Born October 7, 1925. Dover, Ohio was his home record. Born. I don't know if I said born. Died February 10, 1965. He was 39 in Vietnam. He was in the 140th Transportation Company, Korea and Vietnam, so another double veteran of both wars. Died when a bomb was placed in the enlisted quarters, the Viet Cong Hotel. 22 people perished. So they were staying in the Viet Cong Hotel, and some spy or whatever put a bomb in the enlisted quarters, killing 22 people. Oof. It's terrible. He's on panel 1E, line 87 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP5 James Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Um, I have a. The next picture is a video that I did on TikTok. It has 14 million views. I just happened to use it for another TikTok, but you see on here. See where it says 14 million views? There's my TikTok, Mr. Mudman. And I use that for another TikTok to complain about somebody get paid so much more money on their video with less views than I did. And then I took a random selfie in the same jacket I'm wearing now. Alright, let's see here. And. Alright. James, which one is this one? This one has a star next to it. So this is what I'm saying. This next one has a star. So this one will be more. We'll have more in-depth discussion on the podcast. But this is Chief Warrant Officer James Hines Alexander. He was born July 27, 1938 in Marion County, Indiana. Died February 7, 1970. He was 31 in Da Nang, Vietnam. He did 2 tours in Korea and 3 in Vietnam. So that's 3 straight double veterans of 2 different wars. That's cool. He was a 610th Transportation Company, 58th Transportation Battalion, 34th General Support Group. A helicopter based at Camp Viking. He was the pilot. He had instructed a P. Oh man, I remember this one. This one is so stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's just. It doesn't. It's just a bad story. If it makes any sense. Okay, so he was a pilot. He'd instructed a private E1 to get a haircut and report at 13:30, which is 1:30 for you non-military. He reported, but without the haircut. So the pilot, he escorted the private to the barbershop. Somewhere along the way, Private Grimm is the guy's name. The private pulled a frag from his pocket and yelled, "I have been to the barber and I don't want to get another haircut." He pulled the pin. He made a motion to throw it into a group playing volleyball. The chief warrant officer grabbed his hand that had held the frag, trying to move him to an area with Connex to shield the blast. Private Grimm died from the frag, and Chief Warrant Officer died later in a hospital. I mean, I put a star to that because how do you explain that to someone's family member? That you said, "Hey man, go get a haircut." He said, "I did get a haircut," and I said, "No, you didn't. Let's go get a haircut." And then he pulls a grenade. Very heroic of him to sacrifice himself to save the guys playing volleyball. So it could have been a lot worse. He's on panel 14W line 110 of the Wall Memorial. Speaking of the Wall Memorial, if you guys go to Washington, you got to go. The must, been a couple times. If you're standing there looking at the Lincoln Memorial at the steps, take a right and it's right around the corner. Let's give Chief Warrant Officer James Hines Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service and bravery. I hope what he's watching in there is not that loud that it's messing up my moments of silence. He's got the TV on in the front of the store and it is loud. Hopefully you guys can't hear it, but if you can, I apologize that it's not mixing in with my moment of silences. Okay, this is Captain James Patrick Alexander. Why do I have so many different things wrote on here of him? It's not Captain. I was on the back of the page. Let me fix that. I forgot. I wrote all of the names all the way to 500 on the front of the pages, and I flipped the back of the pages and I wrote backwards. So I was looking across from the back of my pages to the front of the pages. So I was actually looking at number 26 that I started a long time ago. Redo that. This is SP4 James Patrick Alexander. I think he didn't look like a captain. Born October 13th, 1950 in Green Rock, Illinois. Died April 5th, 1971. He was 20 in Vietnam. He was HQ Company, 5th Battalion, 46th Infantry Regiment, 198th Infantry Brigade. He was on perimeter security at LZ Donna when he attempted to engage enemy movement nearby by tossing an M67 grenade. He accidentally dropped it. Now, it's crazy this story came right after the other story. When he picked it up to throw it, it detonated. He died at a hospital later. So he's by himself, hears people, grabs the grenade, throws it, but instead he drops it. So he must have been like extremely, extremely nervous. instead of like running away or kicking it, he tries to pick it up and throw it, and there wasn't enough time. Sad, same story. He's on panel 4W line 107, the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 James Patrick Alexander a moment of silence. Thank him for his service. Man, I hope that's not too loud. It's coming through the microphone. I think he would know better. This is Staff Sergeant Jasper Marion Alexander. He looks like the guy from Saving Private Ryan. It was the sergeant. Born December 28, 1929. Question mark. Dayton, Ohio was home record. Died March 3rd, 1969. He was 39. He was an armored recon specialist. D Company, 1st Battalion, 16th Infantry Regiment, 1st Infantry Division. He was found with a head injury in the latrine bathroom. He had fell after consuming alcohol. He was transported to the hospital for treatment for a cerebral contusion. He began convulsing and died 90 minutes after being admitted. He also served in Korea and Vietnam. So he fell while drinking, hit his head. These stories on this one video is crazy. Every single video I do, like the last one had a female in it, and then the one before that was like all these reads. Like I do reads. I save ones that are way too much writing. I just save the photo so I can read it live with y'all. I save those for live reads because I already know what I wrote. So I want to do live reads to get full reactions. So 2 videos ago, slap full of those live reads. And the last video was a crazy story about a guy he threw the flare into the munitions instead of out the side of the ship and blew up the ship and killed a bunch of people. And this one is all about grenades, but it's crazy. He's on panel 30W line 17. Let's give Staff Sergeant J and Jasper Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, this is PFC Kerry Alexander. Good pitcher. I'm a Navy, but the Marines have the best uniforms. Hands down. Born July 24th, 1949 in Fort Pierce, Florida. Died August 29, 1968. He was 19 in Quang Nam, Vietnam. He was served with D Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division. During Operation Mamaluke, not Mamaduke, Mamaluke, the engaged hostile forces, Kerry died from gunshot wounds. They engaged hostile forces. He's on panel 46W, line 55 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Kerry Alexander a moment of silence, mixed in with all this TV up here. Thank you for your service. I don't think it's coming through because if I back up like 6 inches from the microphone, you can barely hear me, and that's 100 feet, so it should be okay. It's loud to me, but we thank him for his service. This is Staff Sergeant Lori Leon Alexander. Born August 24th, 1934 in Indiana. Home of record, Shelbyville. I have a friend who lives in Shelbyville. Died August 14th, 1966. He was 31 in Vietnam. He served with A Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry Regiment, 2nd Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division. See photos. All right, here we go. I don't read when I do the photos. I just screenshot them because they're usually this or more pages. So I want to do live reads with y'all so we can learn about them together. So it kind of changes it up a little bit of the, makes it a little bit more exciting than I'm reading them for the first time. Okay, let's see what it says. I try to read these as fast as I can because I have a lot to do. A lot of these to do. During Operation Paul Revere 2, that's cool, Paul Revere 2, the 3rd Brigade, 25th Infantry Division had a continuing mission beginning in May 1966 to indirect infiltration and supply routes in the, it looks like, I thought I said Pikachu, but it's Pleiku, Pleiku. For a minute I wanted to say Pika. And Kongtung provinces. The operation ended at the Battle of Hill 534 on the southern portion of the Chu Pong Massif near the Cambodian border. Company A, 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry was pursuing a group of Viet Cong on foot, ran into a North Vietnamese battalion in prepared bunkered positions. Company B, 2 and 5 were attempting to link up with Alpha Company, began slugging out with enemy troops, likewise in well-defended positions. At the size of fortification become known as the size of the fortification become known, additional companies were committed until 2 battalions of sky troopers were positioned around the enemy. The fierce close-in fighting continued throughout the night of August 14th as well into the morning of 15th, When it was over, a total of 138 NVA, which is the enemy, died. Were counted on the slope. 534. The 5th Regiment also paid a high price at the Battle of Field 54. 534 suffering 17 dead, and it says the names of them, which one of them was Staff Sergeant Alexander. He's on panel 10E, line 3 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Staff Sergeant Lori Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, this is Corporal Mickey Roy Alexander. Born July 31st, 1949 in Oklahoma. His home record is Fort Supply. Cool name. He died October 21st, 1969. He was 20 in Long An, Vietnam. He served with E Company, 5th Brigade, 60th Infantry, 9th Infantry Division. Died from small arms fire. When I say that, that's about all I can get. It's on panel 17W, line 99 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Corporal Mickey Roy Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This guy's got some nice hair. This is Chief Warrant Officer Nicholas Ricard. Nicholas Ricard. I guess somebody forgot to put the D on there, so I don't think it's Richard. But because I looked, I thought I made a mistake, and I rewrote a D, and then I X'd it off because I relooked, and it says Ricard. Nicholas Ricard Alexander. I thought I made a mistake. But look at his hair. We got some slick back hair. Born January 24th, 1947 in Algona, Iowa. Died November 27, 1968. He was 21 in Tay Ninh, Vietnam. He served with the 118th Assault Helicopter Company, 145th Aviation Brigade, 12th Aviation Group, 1st Aviation Brigade. He was awarded a Silver Star. And we have another paragraph. Awesome. Let's see why he got a Silver Star. President of the United States of America, authorized by the Act of Congress, July 9, 1918, blah, 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 blah. To Warrant Officer, presented a Silver Star to Warrant Officer Nicholas Richard Alexander, United States Army, for gallantry in connection with military operations involving conflict and armed hostile force while serving in the 118th Assault Helicopter Company, 1st Aviation Brigade in the Republic of Vietnam on 27 November 1968. Warrant Officer Alexander distinguished himself by exceptionally valorous actions while serving as aircraft commander and fire team leader of a UH-1C helicopter gunship. He responded to a plea from a hamlet which was under enemy attack. What was the hamlet? Warrant Officer Alexander made repeated gun runs on the enemy positions despite a barrage of enemy small arms fire and automatic weapons fire. Friendly elements were inserted in a landing zone south of the hamlet. I'll have to look that up. And immediately received murderous enemy fire from the village. Warrant Officer Alexander courageously decided to go alone to the aid of the beleaguered infantrymen. As he placed his aircraft in a dive direct at the enemy positions, the aircraft began to receive intense enemy fire. His aircraft received several hits, one of which caused it to crash and burn amid the enemy positions. Warrant Officer Alexander's gallantry and action cost the life as instrumental in saving the lives of many friendly soldiers. His actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself. Okay, Google. What was a hamlet in Vietnam? Small rural settlement smaller than a village. Often informal grouping of houses and families, can be subdivision or part of a larger village. So it was a small rural settlement. Okay. Now we know what a hamlet was. Cool. He's on panel 38W, line 70. Let's give Chief Warrant Officer Nicholas Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, this is SP4 Richard Carl Alexander, or Dick. I always give what their nickname is when they say it. So Richard Carl Dick Alexander. Born August 9, 1950 in Clarion, Pennsylvania. Died September 11, 1970. He was 20. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. He was served with the 5th Transportation Company, 159th Transportation Battalion, 4th Transportation Command. Died from injuries when he was struck by a military vehicle on August 30th. He had crushing chest and abdomen and right lobe of the liver and fractured 8 ribs. Wow. That's terrible. He's on panel 7W, line 54 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 Richard Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This is SP4 Robert Alexander, born April 4th, 1947. Home record was Washington, D.C. Died May 9th, 1968. He was 21 in Quang Tri, Vietnam. He served with C Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry Regiment, 1st Cavalry Division. No info. I have absolutely nothing on how he perished. He's on panel 57E, line 13 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 Robert Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This one I had to take a different photo of because there was a mix-up with the picture, and I ended up taking it on a different website. This is PFC Robert David Alexander. Born January 11, 1942 in Delaware. Died May 20, 1967. He was 25 in Vietnam. He served with A Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Infantry, 1st Infantry Division. Died from multiple frag wounds. He's on panel 20E, line 52 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Robert Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, this is Sergeant Robert Emmett Alexander. Born August 22nd, 1945 in California. Died February 16th, 1968. He was 22 in Vietnam. All I had on him was he died from mortar attack. Didn't have his where he served or nothing. First time I think I've got one that didn't have where they served. He's on panel 39E, line 56 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Sergeant Robert Alexander a moment of silence. Emmett. And we thank him for his service because there's a Robert Alexander, then a David Alexander, then an Emmett Alexander, and then a Lee Alexander, and then a Samuel Alexander, and then a Dale Alexander, and a Mac Alexander. Oh, Roger, I'm sorry. Oh, the Roberts. There's a regular Alexander, a David, an Emmett, a Lee, and a Samuel. All Roberts. It's crazy. So here we go again with another Robert. This is LTC Robert Lee Alexander. Born January 18, 1931 in Tennessee. Died October 31st, 1969. He was 38. Tay Nguyen, Vietnam. He served with H&H Company, 1st Battalion, 12th Cavalry Regiment, 3rd Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division. See photo. All right, another first live read. On October 31st, 1969, a U.S. helicopter UH-1H from Company B was on a command and control mission in Tay Nguyen Province, RVM, when it experienced a transmission failure besides Nua B Dien Mountain and crashed, killing 10 U.S. personnel. It gives the list of the personnel. The CNC mission was for a battalion of the 1st Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division. The aircraft had been on the mission all that morning and had shut down at the Tay Nguyen VIP helipad at approximately 8:30 a.m. to await its full, complete complement of passengers. Details on the flight after that point are limited. The next contact the aircraft had was between 9:30 and 9:45 a.m. when a Mayday call was received. An AH-1G helicopter gunship and 2 Scout OH-6A helicopters flying in the area monitored the call. Witnessed the aircraft impact on the ground. All the witnesses stated that the main rotor blades of the 650 had stopped when they first established visual contact. UH-1H was between 300 and 500 feet the ground level, above ground level. The aircraft impacted at a steep angle and exploded on impact. The Scout helicopters moved into the crash area in search of survivors while the gunship relayed coordinates and information concerning the crash. The downed aircraft continued to burn after the explosion, and most of the aircraft was consumed in the fire. Whew, that's a terrible way to go by fire. Let's give LTC Robert Lee Alexander. He's on panel 16W, line 7. Let's give him a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This next one, I put a star next to it because I put pissed on it, or BS. So we'll see what it says when I put BS. It's usually a good reason. This is PFC Robert Samuel Alexander. You'll see why I'm mad about this one. Born January 8, 1950 in Pennsylvania. Died April 3rd, 1970. He was 20. Bien Dong, Vietnam. He served with H Company, 31st Infantry Battalion, 20th Infantry Brigade. He was a heavy equipment operator when his unit came under fire. It says he died by intentional homicide. No info, BS on it. So as they were fighting, somebody else didn't like him and shot him on intentional homicide. So that means it was on our side. Intentional, not unintentional, intentional. So I think someone set him up. But I couldn't find any information, so I'm kind of pissed about it. Because I want to know. So I put a star next to it so we can look into it more for the podcast. He's on panel 12W, line 86 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Robert Samuel Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This is SP4 Roger Dale Alexander. Born July 12, 1950 in Newton, North Carolina. Died November 18, 1969. He was 19 in Vietnam. He was a C Company, 2nd Battalion, 8th Infantry Regiment, 4th Infantry Division. Died from frag wounds from a mine. He's on panel 16W, line 92 of the Wall Memorial. Give SP4 Roger Dale Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This is PFC Roy Mack Alexander. I had to look the M up. Born November 17, 1947 in Mount Carmel, Illinois. Died March 20th, 1968. He was 20 in Dak Lak, Vietnam. He was with A Company, 12th Infantry, 4th Infantry Division. He was born a Bronze Star. See photo. Alexander was awarded the Bronze Star, the nation's third highest award for bravery. The Army Commendation Medal, the nation's third highest award for achievement, and Purple Heart. Mack Alexander earned these 3 awards in action, which brought his early death. On March 20th, his company was on search and destroy mission against hostile forces. Suddenly, his unit was pinned down by enemy small arms, mortar, and rocket fire. Casualties were being sustained. It was at this point that Mack began to return fire so effectively that it pinned down the enemy, allowing members of his unit to take up defensive positions and escape more serious casualties. Mack, remaining in the exposed position, was eventually overcome by enemy small arms fire. However, his bravery and concern of the welfare of others saved lives. For this action of heroism, the Army cited him as being someone special. Good story of heroism. He's on panel 45E, line 37. Let's give PFC Roy Mack Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Next one is SFC Sammy Edward Alexander. Born February 4th, 1938 in Milton, Tennessee. Died May 17, 1970. He was 32. Quang Tri, Vietnam. He served with B Company, 159 Assault Support Helicopter Battalion, 101st Airborne Division. The U.S. Heli CH-47C Varsity was shot down. It was at level flight at 100 feet and 50 knots speed, which was hit by 5 rounds, on which perforated the forward transmission sump and may have caused hydraulic failure. All 5 crew were killed. He's on panel 10W, line 55 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SFC Edward Alexander a moment of silence. Thank him for his service. Now we're on the last one of this video. This is number 20, and we'll be doing another video probably after the weekend because I have to travel this weekend. But this is Second Lieutenant Stagmatos G. Alexander Jr. Born July 11, 1944 in Johnson County, Tennessee. Died April 12, 1969. He was 24 in Bien Dong, Vietnam. He was a B Company, 27th Infantry, 1st Battalion. The Wolfhounds. Died from multiple frag wounds. That's all the information I could find. He's on panel 27W, line 61 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Second Lieutenant Alexander a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. All right, guys, that was a quick read. I know sometimes I go a little faster than I mean to, and sometimes I go a little slower, but sometimes I ramble, so the videos usually last 45 minutes. But anyway, this one's under 30, so appreciate everybody. If you guys want to follow along, keep doing with all the 28,000, just subscribe, hit like, share, tell your friends, family, comment whether I did anything wrong or what I can do better, because I can always improve, or if I did everything okay. And stay tuned for your family members if you have any on here with different letters. Other than that, I'll see you on the flip side. I'll continue writing this weekend. Like I said, I'm not going to do a video till probably Tuesday or Wednesday. It is Thursday, so next week, because I have to go see my kids for the weekend. So, all right, guys, see you on the flip side.